Okay, so we want to bring URP in by scratch. So if I go a new project, and you could go universal pipeline, 2D has various things too. I'm just going to go with 3D and make a project. Okay, so it's loaded in. Now there's nothing in here, absolutely nothing in here. I don't even have Playmaker in here yet. This is a completely blank project. I'm going to go Package Manager. I'm going to switch this over to Unity Registry. More importantly, let's go to the renderer. And let's install URP. But if you want 2D, go with Universal. Universal, even for 3D, Universal typically is faster in most cases compared to the standard. It does have a couple limitations, but overall, I think it is better. The high definition's a really, really nice renderer. I don't know what the hell you'd call these things, but it's cool. The only issue is there's not a whole lot of support out there for it yet. But whatever. Okay, so we are now in URP, even though nothing is URP yet. And even if I go 2D lights, they're all squared out, right? And there's nothing, I can't do anything with it. And that's because I need to go to my projects and let's create a new folder. Let's call this URP. Let's go into the folder and let's create. So I right click, create, rendering, universal render pipeline. I want to make a pipeline asset forward renderer. They also have a 2D. This is new. It changes on versions. If you're using kind of an older version, like I think the last one I tried was a 2018. These were named differently. Actually, this one didn't exist. This one did. So ultimately, you want this one, but you ultimately you have to have two. All right. So here we have a renderer 2D data and a universal renderer pipeline 2D. And this guy is this guy. Now, if I wanted to create another renderer, and you say a forward renderer, a basic forward renderer, I can go to our main renderer and I can actually drag this one in. So now we're in URP but 3D, more or less. But we don't want that. We want the 2D. I'm going to get rid of that one. I was just showing you that. So we have the 2D renderer and the 2D renderer data. We're still not in URP. Okay, we go project settings. And before I do that, I am going to drag something into the scene so we can see something, right? Let's go just anything. Drag this in here. Hierarchy. Why is my hierarchy? I hate how Unity sets this up. I really do. All right, so if I go 2D, and we can see we have this little object here. So you'll probably often come across this. If I go into, now I go to edit project settings and come into here. There's actually two spots you need to put this renderer. Under quality, we can grab our main renderer. Our main renderer and drop it in there. And then we need to go to our graphics and we need to drop it in there. Now we're in 2D. Well, it didn't change. Okay, so anyways, this is the one issue that you might see if you have already got things in here like I did. Now if I go to lights, I have all my lights available. So let's do a spotlight. I'm just going to move him around. Okay, so he's not changing. There's no shadows. What the ever-living hell, right? Probably what you're thinking. And that's because when you come into this system, you see this guy has shadows. But when you first come into the system, everything's set kind of to the normal prior, and it doesn't change it. So if I want this guy to change, you can see he's just using a sprite, where this guy's using a sprite lit. Lit means he's affected by light. So if you have objects, you can click on them, go to their material, and update their material. You can go projects, or under edit, render pipeline, universal, and you could upgrade project materials to, so forth, and it'll try to upgrade everything for you automatically. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to right click, create a new material. We're just going to call this our sprite material, and it automatically puts it under the shader universal render pipeline 2D sprite lit. And that's really all that I need to do. Now if you want to swap it, you can change it over, go universal, we can go normal 3D lit, unlit, we can go terrain, but we want the 2D in our case, right? So universal render pipeline 2D sprite lit. Now if I go to this guy that isn't reacting to lights and I drag him in, he is now reacting to lights. Just like that. See? Bloop. There we go. So, but we're now in URP, just like that.